Hey, people, I'm fixing to prove to you that thousands of years ago, ancient Egyptians celebrated Jesus' birthday on December 25th, with the kids playing with Legos and M&Ms all over the floor. You know, a bunch of these watch groups have looked into this, and they say that there's many gods born from a virgin on December 25th, and many of the Christian watch groups try to fact check this. But I never liked the Christmas celebration. I could always tell there was something deeper and darker behind it. So I never celebrated it. But I found it here in the top of the book of John. You know, John meaning a long period of time, a yawn. Oh, it's been a long time. He's yawning over there. A yawn is. Egyptians wrote this long period of time like this. And you see this symbol here, this sun symbol. It's also the symbol for gold or ore. And they don't pronounce it in here, but you know, a chore is a long period of time, or you might need to take a chair each. Everybody get your chair, you're fixing to be here for a while. And you see this symbol used in all the times up to a year. And after that, longer periods of time don't have it. A symbol for 30 years. So this long period of time could have been a time up to 30 years from a second. So I believe this is the symbol of era in the Greek when you see the days. You know, on the day of the second is the come era of the duped era. So to get that date set first, the Egyptians had a 365-day calendar. The year had 12 months of 30 days or 36 weeks of 10 days. They had 360 days, and then they added 5 days at the end of the year. Each month was dedicated to a god. The 12 months were divided into 3 seasons, 4 months of each. The season of Sat was the beginning, time of the flood and period of sowing. You know, as the waters would go down, you would plant the sides of the river. And so the second season was called the part era. That's where your word party comes from. A time of coming forth or growing. And then the Shemet, the time of harvest. So the Egyptian calendar, it also doubled as the Senate game board. And you had your 30 days a month, and you'd move your little M&M around. And then you had your 5 end of the year days. So instead of Xing off the calendar, you just moved your M&M. You see this in ancient art in your M&Ms here. They had 2 different styles. And this board had its own font. Looks like a Lego here. And it represented the sound min. So at the beginning of the year, the first season, you know, is set era, to set the time. And the first month was the month of thought. And then you had 4 30-day months here. And then you started the second season, the season of the party era. And you had 120 days of that. And then you had Shemwet era. And at the end of that, you add the 5 days over the year. And then you begin the year on 29th of August. That's Katrina Day. That's when Katrina hit New Orleans. I'll never forget it because it's also my birthday. And so a season is, 17 weeks of 7 days. It's 119 days plus 1, 120 would be 4 months. So if we go to August 29th and we go 17 weeks, we end up on December 25th. And then one day is December 26th. But we have to add 2 days to this because October and August had an extra day in there. So this December 26th is actually December 28th. But we're going to subtract 3 days for the precession of equinox, 3 days later than its occurrence in early antiquity. So that's going to put us back here to December 25th. To bring us to the celebration of Party, the first month of growth, December 25th. So this is a long chapter, but everybody knows how it begins. The word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God was the Word. But then God came down and changed the language, so God was no longer the Word. But, this word is logos. It's pictures with a meaning, icons, logos. It's a picture with a sound equivalent. A picture of a Senate board, but pronounced men. So back in the day, they would put all these on the wall, and it was known as knowledges. Was the knowledges. So you get a better idea what this first word means. It's used the same here, and this one was in the beginning with God, and this one was energy, where that word comes from. And so this is, inner chi. The inner chi is the circulating life energy that is thought to be inherent in all things. Not just living, but inherent in all things. It flows within you and it flows out in the world. It's the one life that connects us all. Chi, a life force. And so the inner chi was the life force that was with God. But it says much more than that, but it doesn't say in the beginning. It says in arcane, in our chain. The ARX is the CH, the H is the E, and the double H turns this into a I or a Y, the inner chain. And it means to braid, to twist. Same thing as arcane, understood by few, mysterious or secret. And you find it here in the rope hieroglyphs, the twisted rope, and twisted, and cha. And they're getting this beginning, in is here, ba, and beginning, ra. You see it in the beginning of Genesis, ba, ra. But it's in R, letting you know that this is pirates talking in our chain of logos. So it means that arcane, is hidden, twisted up in the words. And another way this is written represented the crotch, chi, and it represents a plant coming up, and first it throws a leaf out each side and then sprouts, the chi. That's why chi is the mother of life. In arcane, in our chain of logos, hidden up amongst the logos. And then the second logo, end of logos on proston, dion. And so dion or theon means current, where the dial's at, where the needle's pointing now, theon. On proston, dion. And that's where your word prostitute comes from. And it's the set of red lips. Red lipstick was a symbol of status, reserved for the upper classes only. And then later associated more with actors and prostitutes rather than respectable women. But no, it always meant the same thing, the red lips, prosta. To prosta, to make it stand out, to push it. And so it doesn't necessarily be red, but when you see this, that's what it means. It's red, and it's not R, but it's RR. So the second R makes it read as a re. It's the red R is what it means. And it's where your chi-ro comes from. It's the RR, which makes it the RI. And so you got a CH and a RI. So this gives a better idea of what the chi-ro symbol means. The life force energy and push and proston. Proston, the on. And so on, means active, And so it's talking about a circle of gods that goes around. And so this is the one that's coming on, the chi-ro, Christ. But I just want to show you that because you have to remember that it's all in our chain. It's all twisted information in here. But this Christmas party comes in the last line. And I haven't read all this chapter yet, but I always go back and read the last couple lines, and it makes it easier to read the front. And it says, alleged they of two, am on, legoum in a party. It still has the same meaning as today. It depends on whether you're talking to the children. It's a M and M in legoum in a party. when you're talking to the Greeks, and it's alleged they have to M on a Lego in, and this tack here, this is the hyphen, and what it tells you is you're reading this A twice, and it's not just a party, but it's a party. That kind of M on M, a Lego in a party. Obsessed to now ran on. All up in the family. Obsessed to now ran on. Aviogota. Aviogota is a preferred, a desired path, a desired road. Go to. That's ancient Adam's word, and it means the road. And it's because, when somebody was asking you that was coming down the road, and they point, hey, where does this go to? Where does this road go to? It's a go-to. It's a path. It leads somewhere is what it means. And it's the desired. And the N coming before a E becomes a bet. The Hebrew bet, which is a B or a V or an N. And so it can still be an N, even though it's a B or a V. And so it's a VO go-to. To desire, a VO, initially meant who likes to, that which is ported to, one that you would like. But the one that you would like, your desired path, tells a lot more in here. And to was angel who's taught, T-O-U-T, and this means to what? And it's written other ways, but it means the taught how, and the angel who's taught how on a vein, and haunt as. And so haunt, is the dark cloud, this riding, just riding behind your shoulder, haunting you, the one that's with you. And so on a vein, a haunt as, a vein is the wire. When you're on stage and you're playing the part of an angel, they have a wire, a vein, haunt as, on your back. And according to, and kata, and so this descending is coming from kataba, coming from a kataba worm that never climbs up. He's always coming down the tree, descending. And kataba, and coming down and onto sepit, to accept your judgment, to sep it on, vion, how on, who on, toe and drop of, on toe and drop of. And so these angels, not necessarily angels like you think. This is the Lord of Jello, the Lord of laughter. And so they're telling you when you can laugh is what they're doing. And alleged they ought of M on, Lego in. A big homosexual M on M, a bunch of different colors. M on M, a Lego in, all stacked together, all pieced together. A party, obsessed to now ran on. And that's who's now running your government. To now ran on. Avio, the desired path. And to us on, the first G here after the A is an N, on Jello, the Lord of laughter, was taught. We're teaching the Lord of laughter, taught how. You have to hold back the Lord of laughter sometime. And taught how on a vein, haunt as. And your laughter is on, it's just like me making these videos on YouTube. If I say the wrong thing, I'll get snatched. They'll snatch on my vein that haunts on my back here. And a vein on haunt as. And according to the vein, haunt as. You're not going anywhere. These angels can't go left and right. They can only go up and down, a kata, a vein, according to your blood, a vein onto a sepet, to sepit on vion, who on toe and drop of. So he's talking about a magic trick here. It ain't what it seems to see, and to have sang, S-A-N-G, to sang hellos. But I'm going to skip these first two words. I don't want to try to explain that until I read up higher. But this is wise in, knowing. And wise in of to Audi hyphen. A hyphen is I said. And so they're confusing the hyphen with quotation marks. But the hyphens C-O-I becomes E. The C, a hidden, I beheld. A hidden is who, a pocket of this, underneath the fig tree. And Audi hyphen C, a hidden's who, a hidden's plural with the S and the EU, who a pocket this, underneath, hide, beheld underneath, hidden, who's a pocket of this. And so this S here, I tell you the second consonant becomes the I, and this is some proof in here. It's a juices, J-U-C-E-S. And you see it following a word above that doesn't end with the S, and it becomes a such is then. But here it's a juices, and it's a juices of fist, who his amazing taught on of sea. And they will see, and taught on of sea. And taughten, is to what on. And in the Hebrew, that's just what to. It's the first thing that you teach your children, is what to. And this picture and these writings go to what on. And so before you can understand a language, you have to understand, you have to have that first grade remedial, and this is a cat, and it's spelled C-A-T, And so taughten and tootin' common and taughten. The way this book is written is the cow says. And so you don't have to see the pictures, what a cow says. And so these greater things are the amazing, and juices his fist who's his. And it's talking about the writer here. And it's at mark. If I an Addy, if I pull out a tape measure and I measure down my 2x4, 7'6" and 5/8, and I put a mark, and when I put a square up to that to draw the line, I'm putting it at the Audi, at to see the mark make, at make, and a hyphen. And so it's telling you about what's hidden in the hyphen, and the wise in, and wise in auto, wise in self, the ones that know, Audi, a hyphen, C, hidden. The hiddens who, a pocket to this. And so when you get to the hyphen, there's more information hidden in that hyphen. It's telling you to read some extra letters. Same thing is in the Hebrew. The hyphen is telling you to read the next word backwards or forwards. You get more out of it and see a pocket of this. And it just gets you off. And you go to juices, and juices of fisting, and who his amazing taught of sea. And when you see this, you grip your fist around your pencil, and juices his fist who is amazing taught of sea. So I'm making another movie, and I'm going to read some more of that at the top. But I want to show you what Jesus and Moses meant up here, and explains this and many other words real well in this chapter. And so this John 1 is probably the place where you need to start reading the Bible. And I don't mean King James. You never learn nothing from that. I'm going to cut this off here. Have a good day.